And then on a personal level, you know, this feeling of give and take is so beautiful. And when we feel it, when we feel we're in that cycle of nature and the cycle of life on earth, we're giving and taking. And the taking doesn't feel bad when it's in balance. You know, that's the beautiful thing. And so I say radical curtailment is possible and pragmatic, possibly beautiful, realistic and resilient, ethical and enlivening, fun and feasible, and best of all, not susceptible to bursting. I had to get that bubble in there. So, and we like to say suffering is optional. You know, like while we were building our house, this was our outdoor facility. So my sphincter knows how to work at minus 30. You know, and midnight in the dark, you hear the trees popping in the Vermont winter when it's minus 30. And, you know, that's the facility we had while we were living in the yurt building our recent house. You know, that for some time until we built the composting outhouse. But this was beautiful for us. It was in the forest edge. But to me, suffering, you know, experimentation, having the humility. And then I call it stroking the now. Like when you're in the now, I was on a sailboat with some friends. They invited me to sail with them from Baja, all the way down to Baja, California, into the Gulf of California. And I'm used to like helping with everything. That's like 9 kids, you just start doing dishes. You just start helping with things, you know, wherever you are. And I was making the captain of the boat and his wife nervous because she wants to cook the food. She has her own system for doing the dishes. So after like a month on the boat, we were 4 months together on the boat, she's like, you know, Jim, we tried to talk it out because it was like this. She said, Jim, what would really help me is if you just went on the back deck and relaxed. And didn't try to help with the dishes. I was like, holy smokes, could I really do that? So I like, okay, and they had the copy of Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. And I'm back on the back deck, and Catherine would come out from doing the dishes, look at me, and she says like, Jim, are you all right? I said, sister, man, I am stroking the now. And I was prone to panic attacks. Like my dad had anxiety, depression, medicated for 20 years. My brothers dabble in it. I've never taken the drugs, but I've dabbled in it. So I know what it feels like to feel really down. And I know what it feels like to have like panic attacks, like wake up in the morning and feel panicky, lay in bed, your list's running through your head, or you're 4 in the afternoon, all of a sudden you feel like this tightness and you just feel like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? You know, just a panic come over me. After I read that book, Eckhart Tolle's book, not a panic attack for 10 months. And then when I do some of what he talks about in there, you know, just getting calm, being in the now, like really getting present, being here now. Ooh, it works for me so good, so good. And then I read his book, Did Anybody Read A New Earth? The subtitle is Finding Your Life Purpose. So I bought the book for the subtitle. Like, I'm having another midlife crisis. Like, what am I going to do next after, you know, what's my next thing? So he coaches you through the whole book about being in the now. The last chapter, finally, he's going to coach you on your life purpose. He takes half of that life chapter to convince you that if you're not in the now, don't even go to the meeting because you're going to be destructive. You know, you're going to show up with your ego and you're going to meet with some other people, try to get some work done. And if you're not in the present, you're going to not help. You're not going to be helpful. He's like, at the last chapter, he's still telling you, get some inner calmness. When someone's saying something you don't agree with, take a deep breath, smile. Let a smile come over your face. Calm yourself and listen. Just open your ears, listen. Get your ego out of the way. That was really helpful to stroke the now, brothers and sisters. And this culture jam comes about where I feel like that's where we're playing. It can be playful. Like I feel it's a playful thing, you know, like don't buy it. You know, we don't have to buy their stuff. And the less we buy it, the more they are going to be like scattering what to do and start making solar panels or whatever, you know. You know, expanding our caring capacity. That is not a misspelling. That is caring capacity. We have such a capacity to care for each other. But when we get too busy and frazzled, we can forget that we have a capacity to care for each other. And when we own, like come out of the closet, like I care. Like look at your friend and say, I care. Look, go home, see your partner, I care. You know, just let people know around you that you care. Let it come, you know, it'll come. Become the change. Fake it till you make it. Make it together. You know, these are the things. And then, like, you start out unconsciously unsustainable. And then you become conscious that you're unsustainable. Oh, my God. Like, and then you try to change it. So now you're consciously trying to be sustainable, and you forgot your bags again. You know, you forgot your mug. You forgot your water bottle. You know? And then you get to the coffee shop, and you forgot your coffee mug, and you say, today I'm not having coffee. And then you get to the grocery store, you got 3 things on your list, but you didn't bring your own plastic bags to put it out of the bulk section. I'll do it another time. Just come peaceful. I'll do it another time, you know. And then you're unconsciously sustainable. It's just how you do life. It's not hard. But it takes a few years to get to the point where it's unconsciously sustainable. And when it is, just like walking. Anyone ever try to learn to play the guitar? Or like an instrument? Like when you try to play an instrument, like just try to play the guitar if you don't know how to play it. You know, try to make those chords and then try to switch them, you know, and you can't even believe how somebody does it because it's really hard. Like, I'm not kidding. Being sustainable is like only like 1/10 as hard as playing the guitar, you know. It's not really that hard, people. And some stuff that's helpful, like this, Vicki Robbins showed me this one. It's like you want something, but you don't have it. Those are your needs. Like I take off my glass, you're all blurry. Nothing wrong with having needs. We all have them. We don't have to beat ourselves up, but you want it, and you have it. Like I always want a partner. You come home, hey, sweetie, boy, am I glad to see you. Thank you for being part of my life. Thank you. You've got a roof over your head. Wow, man, I got a roof over my head. Thank you. I got food on the table. Wow, thank you. I got quite a circle of friends. Thank you. You know, just, wow, these are things I want and I have them. Wow, just like the power of that gratitude. And then there's things that you have them, but you don't want them. And they're in your attic. They're in your basement. You open the closet and you can't like get another garment on the hangers, you know. And then they're in your, you know, they're on top of your table saw, you know, in the shed. They're like, you open the shed and it's falling out on you. And all that stuff is cluttering your life, your psychic energy, and all that stuff. I sold 13 yard sales when I quit my job, and I lived for a full year off of selling all my stuff. You know, I had an antique car, a motorcycle, I had a leather jacket for riding. You know, I just had all this crap. And I got myself down to 1 bedroom. And I rented 3 out of the 4 bedrooms in my house. And when I got down to that level, I was so on fire, and it felt so good. Like everything I got rid of, it just felt so good, so good. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Then I hang out with a Native American out in the Senex Nation out in British Columbia where I was living. And you go to a big gathering. They invite the community to be with the traditional people there. And what they did was they gave 100 people in the community a gift. And what I heard from them later is like, really, you get a burden when you get a gift. So for the native, it's always what I was taught. The potlatch is like, it's just about giving. That's the way life is. Like, it's just about giving. That's how the heart works, you know, and so beautiful. And then there's things like in our life, we don't have them and we don't want them. That's like mega freedom. Like imagine you see a nice shiny Prius going down a road, and you've got like an old like car, a 95 Toyota, and maybe it gets 35 miles to the gallon, you know, and you could get 45, you know. It's shiny and it's nice and you like it, but it's 25 or 30 grand. I don't know what it costs. And you could go and work at $10 an hour, real hourly wage, after you adjust for your commuting time, your work, your clothes, your professional association, everything else. It's only going to be like $10 an hour, your real wage. So you may have to work like 3,000 hours if you wanted it. But if you didn't want it, you just save yourself, you have free 3,000 hours of freedom. Isn't that easy freedom? Just by not wanting. You know, imagine you go to a house and it's like beautiful view and the deck has a hot tub in it and it's looking over the mountains and your heart is throbbing on the porch, you know. and it's nice people, and there's nice wine and everything, and you go home to your humble little thing, and you say, gosh, that was really fun party, and I'm so nice. I just love my house. I'm very happy here. You might have saved yourself 30 years. It's really so easy.